that there are many generations of customer experience, okay? And customer experience is defined by the culture of the time and the technology and the processes, expectations and emotions of particular eras. And the one thing, though, if you look back, whether you're looking at, for instance, a Walt Disney or an LL Bean up in Freeport, Maine there, okay, from many years ago, or you're talking about a Steve Jobs or a Jeff Bezos, one thing they all have in common is that they never let the present get in their way for saying that they would like to define the future for their customers. That's what they have in common. They have a lot more in common, too. So the generation that we're going to be talking about tonight is the generation of customer experience that started in January 2007, when Steve Jobs started the introduction to the iPhone, and then a few months later, the Android operating system became a reality from Google, and then a few months after that, we had Android phones. And I'll give you some examples of the damage done to the smartphone market to companies that didn't understand that user experience and customer experience was now the new currency for the smartphone market. Be a customer experience leader or bite the dust. We've reached that time in the, I don't know if you want to call it maturity or development of markets or innovation, where if an experience maker comes into your market and starts being successful, if you do not become an experience maker, you will be marginalized, and then eventually you will be put out of business. And that is a fact. The whole taxi world is up in arms now, and actually Uber has been outlawed in several places. They were outlawed in Paris for a couple years too. There was a law that actually was passed that forbid Uber from responding immediately. They had to wait 15 minutes to slow them down with the rest of the taxi cab industry. And then finally, I can't make this up. And then finally, after a couple years, they repealed the law because consumers said, well, fine, I'm still going with Uber. I want change. I want change, and I want to use my mobile phone. Give a frictionless customer experience. Now, this is probably one of the most quoted sentences or hijacked sentences there is around. But I found, anyway, that Jack Dorsey is the fellow who said it. Now, what is a frictionless customer experience? Well, there's all those interaction points you can have. You know, whether it's on the web or with a person or on social media, and many more along that customer experience continuum. What's interesting is when my interaction between those doesn't make sense and causes me confusion or frustration or time, Jack Dorsey describes those as bumps and can cost people a lot of time and cost the company business. So he said, in between those interaction points and the types of interactions, what you want to do is you want to make sure that they're smooth and frictionless and they make sense when I switch from the web and then I talk to the person in the store. Okay? So, Rule 42, give a frictionless customer experience. And I love the way Steve Hickner, because this certainly is how I feel emotionally when I am not having a customer. I just saw this on the web and you're telling me I could pick it up in the store and it's a different price. It's even a different SKU, a different product. That's a friction full. Those companies are eventually going to go away. Remember, those 5%ers are going to revolutionize this. So you want to be happy, and I love that. I'm like, oh my God, it all made sense. I spoke to your people, I went on the web, and then when the product came, it was all beautiful.